Konnichiwa. Welcome to this video, which is the 7th lesson of the basic Japanese series for beginners. You will learn verbs like get up, work, study, sleep, etc. You will also learn the particles ni, kara, and made. And by the end of this lesson, you will be able to use these verbs and frame sentences on your own. So please watch it till the end. If you have not watched my videos on time and calendar, please watch them first and be thorough with the content presented in it. Let me begin with some verbs which we use in our daily life. The first one is okimasu, which means to get up. Next is hatarakimasu, which means to work. Next is asobimasu, which means to play or have fun. Next is yasumimasu, which means to take rest. Depending on the situation, the same word can also mean to take a holiday. Next is benkyou shimasu, which means to study. And the last verb is nemasu, which means to sleep. Let me pronounce them once. Okimasu, hatarakimasu, asobimasu, yasumimasu, benkyou shimasu, nemasu. As you can see, all of them are ending with mas. In fact, we are adding mas to the basic form of the verb to make it polite. Sentences which use these words are referred to as being in the polite style. The polite style is used during formal situations. Say, for example, when one is talking to one's customers, superiors, or even to people in a similar age group whom one is not very close to. On the other hand, sentences which use verbs without mas are referred to as being in the plain style. The plain style of expressions are used in relaxed relationships such as close friends and within a family. We will learn the plain style later on. Please try to master the polite style first. Next, let me go to the inflection of mas. In Japanese, a verb takes two forms. One denotes the present and future tenses, that is non-past, and the other denotes the past reference. For example, okimasu, which means to get up, is used for both present and future. The past tense is okimashita, which means got up. As you can see, the ending mas was changed to mashita to form the past tense. Let us see the past tense of other verbs. For hatarakimasu, the past tense will be hatarakimashita. For asobimasu, it will be asobimashita. For yasumimasu, it will be yasumimashita. For benkyou shimasu, it will be benkyou shimashita. And for nemasu, it will be nemashita. So, to get the past tense, we will replace mas with mashita. Next, let us see how to form the negatives. The negative of okimasu is okimasen, and it is used for both present and future. The past tense is okimasen deshita, which means did not get up. As you can see, mas was changed to masen to form the negative, and then the word deshita was added to form its past tense. Let me give you another example. For the word nemasu, which means to sleep, the past tense is nemashita, which means slept. Let us first change mas to masen, so the negative will be nemasen. Next, let us add the word deshita, so the past tense will become nemasen deshita, which means did not sleep. Please follow this rule and try to form the negative and the past tense of other verbs. And let me know if you have any questions. Next, let me go to the particle ni, which means at. The point in time when the action takes place is indicated by putting the particle ni after the noun, which indicates the time, but only when time is expressed using numerals. Let me give you some examples. You have learned that for 5 o'clock in Japanese we say goji. You have also learned the verb okimasu, which means to get up. Now, to say Mr. Rao gets up at 5 o'clock, let us start with Rao-san. It will be followed by the particle wa. Then we will add the time goji, which will then be followed by the particle ni. And finally, we will end the sentence with the verb okimasu. So the Japanese sentence will be Rao-san wa goji ni okimasu. Now, to say I sleep at 10 o'clock every night, let us replace Rao-san with watashi and goji with juji. And we have to add the word maiban before juji. So the Japanese sentence will be watashi wa maiban juji ni nemasu. Next, let us see how to say the sentence I took a holiday last Tuesday. You have learned that last week is Senshu. Tuesday is Kayobi, and Senshu no Kayobi is the Tuesday of last week. You have also learned the word yasumimasu, which means to take rest or holiday. We have to use the past tense of yasumimasu, which is yasumimashita. So let us start with watashi. It will be followed by the particle wa. Then we will add the time Senshu no Kayobi, and because this time is not in numerals, we will not add the particle ni, but we will simply end the sentence with the verb yasumimashita. So the sentence will be Watashi wa senshu no kayobi yasumimashita. Now to say I will take a holiday next Monday, let us replace senshu no kayobi with raishu no getsuyobi. Time is not in numerals and it is in future tense. So the sentence will be Watashi wa raishu no getsuyobi yasumimasu. Just remember that the particle ni will come after the noun which indicates the time, but only when time is expressed using numerals. Also, ni always precedes a verb and is never followed by this. Next, let me go to the particle kara, which means from. It indicates the start time or place. On the other hand, made means up to or until and indicates the end time or place. Let me give you some examples. You have learned that for 10 o'clock in Japanese we say juji. You have also learned the verb hatarakimasu, which means to work. Now, to say Mr. Rao works from 10 o'clock every day, let us start with Rao-san. It will be followed by the particle wa. Then we will add mainichi and the time juji, which will then be followed by the particle kara. And finally, we will end the sentence with the verb hatarakimasu. So the sentence will be Rao-san wa mainichi juji kara hatarakimasu. On similar lines, to say Mr. Rao works until 6 o'clock, the sentence will be Rao-san wa mainichi rokuji made hatarakimasu. And if we combine these two sentences, it will be Rao-san wa mainichi juji kara rokuji made hatarakimasu. Next, let us see how to frame a question. We will use the interrogative nanji kara, which means from what time, and the interrogative nanji made, which means until what time. Combining the two will give us the phrase nanji kara nanji made. So, if I ask minasan wa nanji kara nanji made nemasu ka? It means from what time and until what time do you sleep? And your reply should be in the same format. For example, 10時から5時まで寝ます. Next, let us learn how to translate simple English sentences to Japanese. The first sentence is, at what time did you sleep yesterday? You know that yesterday is kino and what time is nanji. You also know that for the specific point of time indicated by at, you have to use the particle ni. In this lesson, you learn the verb nemasu, which means to sleep, and the past tense is nemashita. Since it is a question, it has to end with ka with a rising intonation. So the translation will be Kino nanji ni nemashita ka? Although there is a word called anata, which is the translation for you, it is not used in public. People will address you using your name. If your friend's name is Rahul and you want to ask him this question, then you have to start with his name and the Japanese sentence will be Rahul-san wa kino nanji ni nemashita ka? Let us go to the second sentence. This morning is kesa, at 7 a.m. is shichiji ni, and got up is okimashita. So the translation will be Watashi wa kesa shichiji ni okimashita. Let us go to the third sentence. You know that every day is mainichi and from what time is nanji kara. In this lesson, you learn the verb benkyou shimasu, which means to study. So the translation will be Mainichi nanji kara benkyou shimasu ka? Let us go to the fourth sentence. You know that Saturday is doyobi and also is mo. In this lesson, you learn the verb hatarakimasu, which means to work. So the translation will be Rao-san wa doyobi mo hatarakimasu ka? Let us go to the fifth sentence. You know that last week is senshu and in this lesson, you learn the verb yasumimasu, which means to take rest or holiday. So the translation will be Senshu yasumimashita ka? Let us go to the sixth sentence. 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. is goji kara rokuji made. And in this lesson, you learn the verb asobimasu, which means to play. So the translation will be Kim-san wa goji kara rokuji made asobimasu. Let us go to the last sentence. You know that meeting is kaigi and until what time is nanji made. So the translation will be kaigi wa nanji made desu ka? Just remember that the particles kara and made are not always used together in a sentence and they are not always followed by a verb. Please try to practice with different verbs and you will get the hang of it. So that is it for now. I hope this video was useful. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. And if you found the video good, give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.